Okay, you guys are very quiet there.
Where's everybody else?
Well, Abigail can't come. Gershon's in Israel. That leaves your friend. Okay, we're at the bottom, 983 at the bottom. Welcome to Garden of the Spirit, a class studying apples from the orchard for the second time, beginning after Pesach 2014. This class meets in Long Meadow, Massachusetts, the center of the universe, and is held in memory of Malka Ruth Bas Moshe, Margaret Vogel of blessed memory. Apples from the Orchard contains collections of teachings of Kabbalah from the Arizal, Rabbi Yitzchak Luria, based on the weekly Torah portion, superbly translated and explained by Moshe Wisniewski. Okay. We're at 983. Once again, I do not have the notes. I kept it up pretty well for all those years. The last week and this week, it just didn't happen. Okay. Remember what we did last week? Wait. Yeah, I have the bottom with 983, correct?
Bottom. Yes.
So it talks about people getting married. Um, we connected it with a closed mem. The dalid of the nada, the head tefillin. Dalid is two sides of a square. You put two of them side by side next to each other, and you have a closed mem. This is the back part we said is like a hinge, and the other we have two lines like a door. Okay, how do we get into this? Oh, because we're talking about getting married. Okay, so this is represents the feminine component. We're at the bottom of 983. Alan, let's go.
Now the Dalet spreads forth as the Mem of Malchus. The Yud alludes to the point of Zion of Malchus, this being the mystical significance of the Holy of Holies. The Yud is often conceived as a geometric point, since it is the smallest of the Hebrew letters and the graphic origin of the others. All other letters can be drawn by first drawing a Yud and then extending it one way or another. The word for Zion also means point or dot. When Malchus is first emanated, its initial form is that of a single point that must then be fleshed out or constructed by transferring the Malchus of the preceding spheres to it, though coupling with their anpin.
Who?
Coupling with their anpin. Zion is a synonym for Yerushalayim, the seat of the kingdom of David, who also personifies Malchus. The Holy of Holies, the inner sanctum of the temple, is the point of the union between Hashem and the Jewish people, and is thus allegorically referred to as the bridal chamber. Specifically, Zion indicates the Yesod of Malchus, the womb.
So, okay, so we said that there are two dalids, two yuds, and so the back of the dalid, the top right, is like the letter yud, and that we said before we compared it to a hinge, and that's what is the point of Tzion of Malchus. That's like a critical mass or center of gravity for what we're saying here. Now we started off the chapter by talking about what they translate as betrothal, which is in the Jewish law is called kiddushin, and this is the first stage of marriage. So it's not just an engagement, it's actual marriage. And if they want to get divorced after excuse me, after this kiddushin, then they don't just break off an engagement, they actually need a get. So the woman is considered married. Again, in the kiddushin, they are married. The first stage that um, is a stage of exclusivity, where the woman is the wife of this man to the exclusion of everybody else. And in the second stage, which today it's all done together at the chuppah. In the olden days, they would wait a year. And the second stage of the marriage is where the man brings her to his house. So this is what we're talking about here. And here we make the connection between this letter Yud that's at the back of the Daled and the money that the man gives in order to I guess seal the deal. I would say I'm going to use the word acquire, but with a caveat, is that the woman is not the possession of the man. There's nowhere in Jewish law that resembles that. But the right to be her husband, this is acquired, or the right to claim her as his wife, okay, as a spouse, not property. So this is acquire. He's not acquiring the person, he's acquiring the right to marriage. And maybe there's a better word. So what's popularly is used either money or something of value. So that's going to connect to this yud. Okay, go ahead, Ellen.
From what we said above, the Malchus takes the form of the Yud. You can understand the mystical dimension of betrothal, which requires the groom's money. It was not stated explicitly before that Malchus takes the form of the Yud, but it was stated that the Yud signifies the soul and Shabbos, both of which are manifestations of the spirit of Malchus. Nukva of Zeranpin is the origin of the soul, and the Shabbos is the seventh day, corresponding to the seventh of the seven midos, Malchus. Although a man may betroth a woman in three ways, with money, with a document, or with intercourse, the prevalent way is with money, that is an object of value, such as a ring, which he gives to her in the presence of two witnesses, saying, "Be betrothed to me with this ring according to the laws of Moshe and Israel."
Huh? Now, this is the yud is connect. So the money corresponds to the yud. The yud has three sharp corners: the top right, the top and the bottom right. And the bottom left, if I'm not mistaken, it doesn't have to have a sharp corner. And these are three for the mochin, for chachma, bina, and das. There's three states of mentality. Okay, go ahead, Ellen.
This money embodies the mentality he gives her, which is embodied in the yud, which has three tips. We have seen elsewhere that the point of the yud represents a coin. The yud has three tips, two to the left and one below. These three tips represent the three spheres of the intellect, Chokhmah, Bina, and Das.
Okay, I guess two on the left and then one below. The top right might be the rounded corner. So I said it wrong before. Now, in Kabbalah, we've had that Das has two parts. There is one part is the connected with Chesed, and one part of Das connected with Gvura, the first two spheres of emotions. Go ahead.
The Yud comprises Chesed and Gevura. The origins of Chesed and Gevura are present in Das, as we have explained previously.
Now, we said before that at the first stage of marriage, there is an encompassing light, the Ar Hasovev, from him to her, Ar Makif or Sovev. When when he brings her to his home, the second stage of marriage, so then there is Or Panimi, and with I guess with her coming into the home, the relationship between them, there's now where he consummates the marriage. So this is an orpnimi, a penetrating light or an inner light. Okay, so now we're gonna read about that here. Go ahead. And I
What?
Go ahead, I'll explain after.
When the bride receives this radiance of encompassing light from him, she assumes the form of the Vav with the six extremities, her back to him. The Dalet thus represents this phase of coupling. As we have explained previously, the Dalet appears to be postured with its back to the preceding letter, the Gimel, from Gomel, bestower.
So of course, um, the Vav are what's called the six extremities or the six spheres of Ze'er Anpin. We often call them the six extremities, and I it could be that it's not just six extremities, but six sides, like six sides of a cube. Six edges or six sides, I think is the best word. And this Vav represents the Yud and Hey and Vav, the third letter of Hashem's name, which corresponds to the six spheres of Ze'er Anpin. So right now she receives in the first stage of marriage, she's receiving only the encompassing light, and the Dal thus represents this phase of coupling or interaction. So I guess there's a type of interaction, but it's not, but it's in a general sense or an encompassing light. Okay, go ahead.
The large Dalet alludes to how the parts of Leah is opposite that of Rachel. Zeranpin gives her Dalet for the purpose of coupling. This is the mystical meaning of the four times the word truth occurs in the blessing. True and certain, as has been explained elsewhere.
Okay, true and certain is the bracha after the Shema in the morning. We say emes v'yatzi v'nachon, and there are between there and the Shmon Esrei, that's all the one bracha until Baruch Atah Hashem Kol Yisrael, and there are four you can say paragraphs or statements that begin with the word emes. Tomorrow morning when we daven, we can take a look and find those four that start with emes. The large dalid. What's a large dalid? When we say Shema Yisrael, Shema Kenu Hashem Echad.
Yeah.
So the ayin of Shema is large, and the dalid of Echad is large too. So that is the large dalid.
Mhm.
Because Zerma gives her dalid for the purpose of coupling This must go. Okay, let's see what it says. Jim, continue 985 in order.
In order to couple, the feminine participle has to be developed to the point where it is of equal stature with the male participle. This, as we have seen previously, is accomplished by the male participle transmitting his intellect to the female participle so they can be of one mind and couple completely. This is perhaps reflected in the teaching that before marital relations, the husband must gladden his wife with words, helping her to focus on the mitzvah they are about to perform. The Dalet, given to Leah, is the four parts of the intellect. The numerical value of the Dalet is 4, Chachma Bina Das, which divides into 2 the source of Chesed and Gevurah within Dalet.
Then Das as it relates to Chesed and Das as it relates to Gvura.
Right. So the blessing recited after the morning recitation of Shema, linking the Shema to Amida, begins, true and certain it is. The word true, or the verb truly, which is the same word emet in Hebrew, appears 8 times in this blessing. True and certain, established and enduring. Truly, the God of the universe is our King. His words are living and eternal. Your word is good and eternal in truth and trustworthiness. Truly, you are God, our God, and the God of our fathers. Happy is the man who heeds your commandments. Truly, you are the master of your people. You are the first. Truly, you are the first, and you are the last. Truly, you redeemed us from Egypt. The last 4 instances of truth in this blessing refer to the 4 aspects of intellect given to Leah for the purpose of coupling. The second 4 refer to the aspects of intellect that are given to Rachel.
Wow. So, okay, I'm going to be counting the 8 MS tomorrow when I daven. I can tell you that. First 4 are for Leah, second 4 are for Rachel, and the point is for them to enable the interaction with whatever, with the husband. Okay.
All right.
So not only is the Yud, one moment. Okay, now we're going to okay, so now we're going to switch to Hashem's name, Ekia, Aleph Hey Yud Hey. Again, this is used when Hashem appeared to Moshe at the burning bush. Hashem said, "I will be what I will be, that which I will be." And I'm not sure. We have to see. Does this refer to the Yud in the name Ekia, or in the expansion of the name? Because there are 2 Heys in Ekia. And so then the Hays could be expanded with the Yud. So we'll see which Yud this means. Okay, continue, Jim.
So the mystical significance of the Yud is also that the Yud is used to spell out the name Ekia, which receives the embryo. The name Ekia, as we know, is associated with the Sephira of Bina. Bina, as the parts of Ima, is the mother that receives the seminal insight from Abba and develops it in her womb into a full-grown intellectual structure.
Okay. In the Hebrew, it seems to be the Yud of Ekia. In the translation, he adds the words to spell out, which would mean the expansion. In any case, that Yud is like the womb of Ekia. Now, okay, I hope he explains the next thing. Next he talks about feminine waters, which we've explained is the yearning for Malchus, or for the feminine component, to be united with the male component. For example, for the yearning for Malchus to join or to interact with Zeir Anpin.
Mhm.
Okay, go ahead.
These yuds also allude to the fact that in them are finished the 10 names Havaya that act as feminine waters. These 10 names Havaya are the names used to make Zeir Anpin into a complete parts of 10 Sifirot.
I'm not sure what that is.
Mm.
So this yud that we're talking about is the back top right of the Daled.
Mhm. In any case,
Let's go ahead.
from this Dalet, positioned with its back to Zeir Anpin, when it faces him and receives a seminal drop, it becomes the name Havaya spelled out to equal 45 and is called the closed mem, just as Bina encloses the yud of Chachma within it.
We said before, so there are four gematria, four values for the name Havaya. Um, if it's spelled out with Aleph, that the Hey is spelled out. The Hey is expanded to with Hey Aleph, then it equals 45. 45 corresponds to Ze'er Anpin. Remember, Ban 52 is the final one. Even though it's a higher number, it corresponds to Malchus.
Malchus.
But the the name of 45 corresponds to the letter Vav of Yud K Vav K, and also corresponds to the Ze'er Anpin.
Yeah.
Now, what else does he say here?
So now, when it is
And it's
positioned,
called one moment the closed mem. We spoke about the closed mem, that is two dalits, and it's also in the pasuk Lamar Be Hamisra Ula Shalom in case there's a closed mem in the middle of the word, not at the end of the word. For the great, for increased dominion and infinite peace. That's in the 9th chapter of Yeshaya. So that is called the closed mem, just as Bina, and we said that the closed mem also corresponds to the womb, and Bina encloses the yud of Chachma in it. So it also, I guess, would correspond to Bina. Okay, go ahead.
now when it is positioned with its back to Zeir Anpin, it possesses only one hinge and one door, as we explained elsewhere regarding the 5 states of Gevurah. The feminine partzif initially possesses only 5 states of Gevurah. It receives the 5 states of Chesed from the male partzif. The hinge, 1, and the door, Dalet, 4, add up to 5. But
Okay, go ahead.
But when she faces Zeir Anpin, she receives the second hinge in the form of the 5 states of Chesed. A door then issues from her, serving to contain the light, and thus there is then a hinge for each door. She's then ready for intercourse. She is a closed vessel and will not miscarry, the seminal drop of light that will be deposited in her.
Okay, so then if she Malchus, I'm gonna say, if she loses or miscarries the drop of light, then could be that's losing, also like losing the seed,
Mhm.
or 1 minute, or the divine light getting diverted to Klippa,
Mhm.
which is not a good thing.
Okay.
Whew. Okay.
Okay. Corresponding to all this The groom has to do to her finger, for the yesod is only for her benefit. Oh, awkward, whatever. The male
That's,
yesod,
that's how it is in Hebrew.
yeah. The male yesod, the male consciousness drive for self-actualization that propels it to seek expression is fulfilled only when the consciousness that has developed to this point, beginning with Abba, through Ima, and into Zer Anpin, is deposited into a vehicle for expression that will express it properly and not spill it into undesirable contents, corresponding to the death inherent in the doorway, as above. Okay. Thus, the female parsif has to have a closed womb that is, above all, will contain the seed. The groom therefore places the ring on the bride's finger, signifying the seal, which he closes with which he closes her reproductive powers and dedicates them to his particular soul slant on the divine imperative to make the world a home for God. By courting her before marriage and gladdening her throughout marriage, he brings their common soul root to the forefront of her consciousness and makes her his partner in promulgating divine image and consciousness.
Now in English, the ring is closed. It's a full circle. And by placing the ring on her finger, it's similar to the closed mem
Yeah.
that contains the divine, whatever you call it, divine consciousness, divine energy, and does not let any slip away to Klippa. I think that's what it says, like that about the ring. Putting the ring on her finger signifies a seal, signifies that this is a that the divine energy will be contained and held, and not it won't be lost.
Mhm.
Okay?
The proof of this is that it is possible to betroth as well through intercourse.
Again, there are three, the Mishnah states that according to halacha, there are three legitimate ways to betroth, to marry, first stage. One is money, second is a document, and the third is actually through relations. And when that happens, then they would again they would stay apart for the year in the olden days. I do know a case of somebody who was not playing with a full deck, and he got married. No one thought he would ever get married. He wasn't, again, he wasn't stable. And he spoke to the Rav that he would like to have that he would like to have the first stage of marriage, not through the ring, money, but in addition to that, through relations. And obviously the Rav told him to go fly a kite. The the custom is, which is very, very strong, is that we do the kiddushin with a ring, which means something of value. Not through the document, not through not through relations. Okay, continue.
The proof of this is that it is possible to betroth as well through intercourse. As we saw above, there are three ways a man can betroth a woman, one is which is through intercourse. Although this is never done nowadays and probably only rarely done in olden days, it was technically possible in more innocent times for a man to take two qualified witnesses and have them watch him say to his bride-to-be, be betrothed to me through this act of intercourse according to the laws of Moses in Israel, and then be secluded with her.
And the witnesses do not witness this. The witnesses stay outside.
Yeah, I get that. They would
Okay.
they would then be betrothed and would have to separate until she has time to prepare her dowry. Then they have to separate. Okay. And make arrangements for the actual wedding. Okay, so they still separate after the intercourse for 12 months. Back in those
Yes.
times, 12 months later. The intercourse they would conduct after the wedding, their second, would then formalize the marriage completely. The point of this is that betrothal is in order to focus the female onto one specific male and thereby close her mind, so to speak, to all the other various possible ways of spreading divine consciousness, that is, men. The fact that this can be accomplished by the act of intercourse indicates that betrothal is for this purpose.
So yeah, usually when you think about spreading divine consciousness, you don't think of men, but that's how the Torah sees it. So um okay, so in any case, again, the first stage of marriage, um first stage of marriage is to say that these two are going to be spouses to the exclusion of others, or that more specifically that this woman will be exclusively married to this man and everyone else is out of the picture. If she changes her mind, she can't just go um and marry or get engaged with someone else. It doesn't. If she does it, it's meaningless. She needs to have a divorce, a get from this first husband. So that's that. And it also is I think it also shows here that so men and wife, husband and wife are reflective of the divine energy as it comes through, but also it seems from here that the point of getting married is to have a partnership to bring godliness into the world, which is really interesting. Okay, go ahead.
The ring signifies her yesod, which encompasses and contains the light within her. Her yesod is her womb. When the yud of the hinge is added to her by way of yesod, she is called the closed mem. We thus have yud mem, and she is called the sea. The closed mem is the image of the safe, closed womb that develops and matures the embryo. The numerical value of the mem is 40. It takes 40 days for the embryo to form. When the embryo reaches full term, the closed mem changes into the regular open mem and birth occurs. The word for sea, yam, is spelled yud mem. Sea is an appellate for malchut, since just as all rivers run into the sea, malchut is a final repository for all the lights of the preceding 9 sephirot that flow into it in order to be transformed and transmitted to a lower level of reality, the outside world.
So the Yam, the sea, represents Malchus, is what
Mhm.
it says. So we have a closed mem. The closed mem becomes the word Yam. You add a yud to it and you get Yam, and that is comparable to the level of Malchus as well as to the womb. Yes, go ahead.
The formula, be betrothed to me, contains 32 letters corresponding to the 32 pathways of wisdom. So behold, hooray, hey, resh, yud, 3. You at Aleph Tav are betrothed, mekudeshet, mem kuf vav dalet shin tav, to me li lamed yud, with a ring, batabat, beit, tet beit ayin tav, this zo, Zion vav, according to the laws of Kedat, kaf dalet tav, Moses, Moshe, Mem, Shin, Hey, and Israel, Ve Yisrael, Vav, Yud, Shin Resh Aleph Lamed, totaling 32. The 32 pathways of wisdom are mentioned in Sefer Yetzirah, which are generally understood as the 22 letters and the 10 Sifrot.
Okay. Wow. That's interesting.
I didn't know that too.
Yeah, so the 32 letters.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 32 pathways of wisdom.
Mm.
Also, guys.
22 plus 10.
Yeah, so they fit in to the wedding ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
The 80 pages left.
I don't know. Alan's the one who does this stuff.
I do that stuff. Actually.
And you do that stuff. Two of you do that stuff.
Yeah, I plead guilty. Yes, about 80 pages. Okay. Next week we have our dinner for Yutes Kislev. Jim, did anyone call you about that yet?
No.
Okay, we're having a dinner at 5:30 p.m. 19th of Kislev, Rosh Hashanah for Hasidus. We'd love for you to come, call, make a reservation at the office, speak to Faye. We're having Chabad at Yale, Mayor Chaim Posner,
Okay.
to come and speak. Okay?
All right.
If you didn't get a call yet, you will be getting from Levi. You're on Levy's list.
When ladies listen. Okay.
Okay? Or you can, whatever, let any of us know, or we want you to call the office to tell them.
All right. I see Rabbi Wolf and he'll come to my office Thursday.
Okay.
We learned JLI.
Okay, good. All right.
All right.
And then in 2 weeks is Hanukkah. It's probably, I don't know if I'll be able to do it then. See what's going on.
Yep. Okay.
Maybe.
So 5:30 next Tuesday.
So no class,
Yes.
no class next week.
So no class next week.
No, it's a program.
Speaker.